They smile in your face, but deep down, they're not real with you. Fake people are everywhere. At work, in friendships, even in relationships. Most people get fooled, but not Sigma males. Why? Because their brutal habits expose fakes faster than anyone else dares to admit. A Sigma doesn't need to confront you with loud accusations or constant questions. His silence, his observation, and his refusal to play games are more than enough to pull the mask right off a fake person. And once that mask slips, the Sigma male never forgets what he saw. In this video, we're breaking down 10 brutal Sigma male habits that instantly expose fake people. From the way he uses silence, to how he walks away without warning, to the one habit that leaves manipulators powerless, you'll see why being around a Sigma makes it impossible to hide your true self. But here's the warning. Once you hear all 10, you'll understand why fake friends, toxic partners, and shallow co-workers secretly fear Sigmas the most. Because they don't just catch the lies, they destroy the entire game. Stick with me until the end because I'll ask a question that only true Sigmas can answer. And if you're ready to uncover the unfiltered psychology of the Sigma male, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and turn on notifications for UltraWise. They observe in silence first. When most people walk into a room, they immediately look for ways to talk, to prove themselves, or to take up space. A Sigma male does the opposite. He doesn't rush into conversations, doesn't scramble for attention, and doesn't feel the need to announce his presence. Instead, he leans back and observes in silence. And this habit, so subtle yet so powerful, is the very reason fake people can't stand being around him. Sigmas know something most people overlook. Silence reveals more than words ever could. When others are speaking, they aren't just hearing the sentences. They're decoding tone, pauses, micro-expressions, and contradictions. They watch how people interact with each other, who tries too hard to dominate, who shrinks when questioned, and who shifts their stories when someone new walks in. What fake people forget is that lies and pretenses can't withstand careful observation. No mask is perfect. Eventually a crack shows, and the Sigma is patient enough to wait for it. This silent strategy makes people uneasy. Fake friends, manipulators, or narcissists thrive when they can control the flow of conversation, when they can distract with words and charm. But when someone doesn't take the bait, when someone simply listens and watches, they start slipping. Their stories don't align, their motives peek through. And by the time they realize the Sigma has been collecting information the whole time, it's already too late. The power of this habit is that Sigmas don't even need to confront anyone. They don't have to expose what they've seen right away. Sometimes they file it away, waiting for the moment when the truth naturally surfaces. Other times they quietly adjust their distance, already knowing who's authentic and who isn't. To everyone else, it just looks like silence. But to a Sigma male, silence is a weapon. One that forces people to reveal themselves without ever realizing they've been studied. They refuse to play social games. In a world where so much revolves around appearances, competition, and subtle manipulation, Sigma males stand out for one reason. They simply refuse to play the game. Most people engage in social maneuvering, whether it's trying to outshine others in a group, bending their personality to fit in, or pretending to like someone just for the sake of approval. But a Sigma? He opts out. This refusal unsettles people, especially fake ones, because social games only work when everyone agrees to play along. When someone doesn't react to peer pressure, doesn't scramble for attention, and doesn't need validation, the whole system collapses. Suddenly, the manipulator loses their power. The attention seeker loses their audience. The faker loses their ability to hide behind shallow charm. Sigma males are comfortable being outsiders, and that independence makes them dangerous to people who rely on control. They won't laugh at jokes they don't find funny just to fit in. They won't flatter someone they don't respect just to gain favor. And they won't participate in pointless hierarchies that demand submission or false loyalty. This authenticity makes others uncomfortable because it exposes just how artificial most social interactions can be. What's even more surprising is how this refusal creates respect, even from people who don't like them. While others waste energy trying to win socially, the Sigma male's calm detachment makes him unpredictable, mysterious, and often intimidating. Fake friends realize quickly they can't manipulate him, and that's when they either retreat or reveal their true colors. At the end of the day, the Sigma male doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. By refusing to play social games, he silently forces others to confront their own pretenses, and that's why so many people feel exposed in his presence. Their silence forces the truth out. Most people are uncomfortable with silence. They rush to fill the space with chatter, excuses, or justifications. But Sigma males understand something powerful. Silence itself is a weapon. By saying nothing, they create a mirror in which others are forced to confront their own behavior. When a Sigma male goes quiet, fake people can't handle it. Without validation, reaction, or argument, they begin to reveal themselves. The manipulator starts talking more, trying to justify their actions. The liar stumbles, tripping over their own contradictions. The insecure person projects even harder, desperate to get a response. All the Sigma has to do is observe, and the truth eventually spills out. This tactic shocks people because it feels passive on the surface, but it's actually deeply strategic. Silence denies fake people the attention they crave. It breaks their rhythm, dismantles their control, and amplifies their own guilt. In the absence of resistance, their true nature leaks through. What makes this so intimidating is that the Sigma never needs to accuse, confront, or shout. He doesn't need a dramatic showdown. His quiet presence alone exposes cracks in the facade. And by the time the truth surfaces, everyone sees it clearly, not because he demanded it, but because his silence drew it out naturally. In a world full of noise and distractions, this ability to let silence do the heavy lifting is rare. It's also why Sigma males can cut through manipulation without even trying. The less they speak, the more others reveal. And that's why fake people fear being around them. They test loyalty without words. Most people test loyalty through questions, demands, or ultimatums. But Sigma males don't waste their energy like that. Instead, they create silent tests, quiet moments where someone's true colors reveal themselves without being asked. For example, a Sigma won't beg a friend to stand by him during tough times. He simply observes who shows up and who disappears. He doesn't demand reassurance in relationships. He pays attention to whether actions match words. The silence is deliberate. No reminders, no requests, no begging. Because loyalty that requires constant proof isn't loyalty at all. This shocks fake people because they expect confrontation. They're waiting for arguments, accusations, or dramatic loyalty tests. But with a Sigma, there are no warnings. You either remain consistent when things get quiet, or you expose your disloyalty by slipping away. And once he notices, the judgment is final, silent, but irreversible. What makes this so brutal is the lack of second chances. Fake people often get away with manipulation because others forgive, explain, or overlook their behavior. But Sigmas don't play that game. If you fail the silent test, you may never even know until one day they're simply gone. And that's why loyalty feels heavier when you're around a Sigma male. His quiet standards can't be negotiated or fooled. If you're real, he'll know it without you saying a word. If you're fake, he'll know that too. And you'll only realize you failed the test when it's too late. They notice Micro-inconsistencies. Most people overlook the smallest cracks in a person's story or behavior, but Sigma males are wired differently. Their observation is so sharp that even the tiniest inconsistencies stand out like warning lights. A slip in your tone, a hesitation in your words, or a mismatch between what you say and what you do is enough for them to question everything. What makes this unsettling is that Sigmas don't confront right away. They file these inconsistencies away in silence, building a mental map of who you really are. Fake people often rely on charm, exaggerations, or carefully crafted stories, but to a Sigma, the cracks are obvious. He notices when your compliments don't align with your actions, when your energy shifts for no reason, or when your promises never match reality. This ability to catch micro-inconsistencies is what makes them almost impossible to deceive. Narcissists, manipulators, and fake friends thrive when people ignore the small details. But with a Sigma, those details are the exact reason they'll be quietly cut off. There's no dramatic call-out, no heated confrontation, just a sudden shift where you realize they no longer trust you, and the connection begins to fade. The shocking part? They won't even tell you what you did wrong. To them, it's unnecessary. The inconsistency itself was proof enough. While others give endless chances, Sigmas only need one slip to see through the act. And once they see it, you'll never get back the same trust again. This is why fake people feel uneasy around Sigma males. It's not because they're loud or aggressive. It's because deep down, they know nothing slips past them. They refuse to chase or please. Most people waste energy chasing approval, validation, or relationships that don't value them. Sigma males, on the other hand, reject this cycle completely. They understand that the moment you start begging for attention, you give away your power. And for a Sigma, that's unacceptable. And instead of pleasing others just to be liked, they live by their own standards. They don't change their values, their personality, or their direction just to fit into someone else's expectations. This refusal shocks fake people, because manipulators thrive on those who are desperate to be accepted. But when a Sigma doesn't chase, the manipulator instantly loses leverage. This mindset doesn't mean Sigmas are cold or unwilling to connect. In fact, their relationships often run deeper than most. But here's the difference. Those bonds come from mutual respect, not from one-sided effort. They'll give attention, loyalty, and care, but only if it's earned. The moment they sense someone is trying to control them with approval or withhold affection as a test, they detach. Women, fake friends, and even narcissists often misjudge this silence as arrogance, when in truth it's strength. Sigma males know their value, and they don't feel the need to prove it to anyone. By refusing to chase, they send an unspoken message. If you want me in your life, you'll have to meet me where I stand. This is why people often regret losing a Sigma, because once he walks away without chasing, there's no turning back. No begging, no second chances, just silence, and the undeniable realization that you've lost someone who was never desperate to keep you in the first place. A mirror-back behavior. One of the most shocking things about Sigma males is how naturally they reflect other people's energy right back at them. Unlike most who react impulsively or try to over-explain themselves, a Sigma simply becomes a mirror. If someone treats them with respect, warmth, and honesty, that's exactly what they'll get in return. But if someone comes with arrogance, manipulation, or disrespect, the Sigma gives them their own energy right back. Cold, distant, and unbothered. This mirroring effect is not a game. It's a defense mechanism. Sigmas don't waste energy trying to fix, change, or argue with people. Instead, they hold up a silent reflection of behavior which forces others to see themselves clearly. For manipulators, or fake friends, this can be deeply unsettling, because suddenly they're faced with their own tactics being mirrored back at them without a single word of confrontation. The brilliance of this approach is its simplicity. A Sigma doesn't need to shout or justify. Their silence and reflection do the work for them. Over time, people realize they can't manipulate someone who refuses to play by their rules. That's why fake people often feel exposed or uncomfortable around Sigmas, because the Sigma is simply showing them who they really are. For women, this habit can be both magnetic and terrifying. If she plays games, he plays them back without effort. If she's genuine, he responds with authenticity. This duality keeps people on edge, always second-guessing their own moves. By mirroring behavior, Sigma males reveal truths people would rather keep hidden. And in the process, they maintain control of their own energy without wasting a single breath. It's not revenge, it's not cruelty, it's power through reflection. They withdraw without warning. Perhaps the most unsettling move a Sigma male makes is his sudden, unexplained withdrawal. Unlike most people who leave trails of explanations, arguments, or justifications, Sigmas simply vanish. Emotionally, mentally, and sometimes physically. One day they're fully engaged, present, and connected, and the next, their energy is gone. To those on the receiving end, it feels like a door is slammed shut without notice. This withdrawal isn't an act of cruelty, it's a calculated decision. Sigma males don't believe in wasting words when the situation has already revealed enough. If they sense disrespect, manipulation, or dishonesty, they don't announce it or create drama, they disappear. This makes fake people, manipulators, and toxic friends deeply unsettled because they lose the one thing they crave most: control. What shocks people most is how permanent this silence can be. Unlike others who return after cooling down, a Sigma's withdrawal often marks the end. When he walks away, it's because he has already processed the truth and decided his energy is better spent elsewhere. For women, this is particularly haunting. The absence of his presence, attention, and depth lingers, often more powerful than any confrontation could have been. Withdrawal is the Sigma's ultimate weapon because it forces reflection. People are left questioning what they did wrong, replaying their actions, and realizing too late that his silence is not a pause, it's an ending. By refusing to explain or give closure, the Sigma male ensures that his absence speaks louder than words ever could. This final move is what cements his power. While others beg, argue, or try to repair, the Sigma remains unreachable, leaving behind a silence that haunts and a memory that can't be replaced. They thrive alone while others crumble. Most people rely on constant validation, social circles, or emotional reassurance to feel secure. Take away their support system, and they quickly begin to unravel. But Sigma males? They're the exact opposite. Solitude doesn't weaken them, it sharpens them. While others grow restless, anxious, or desperate when left alone, Sigmas grow stronger, more focused, and more self-sufficient. This is one of the most shocking differences between Sigma males and everyone else. Society teaches people that belonging equals safety and loneliness equals weakness. But Sigmas rewrite that script. Alone time is their power source. It gives them clarity, space to think, and the ability to work on their goals without distraction. Instead of feeling abandoned, they use solitude as a forge, turning silence into strategy and independence into resilience. This unnerves fake friends, manipulators, and even romantic partners. Why? Because their usual tactics rely on dependency. If someone needs attention, reassurance, or company, they can be controlled. But a Sigma doesn't need any of that. He thrives alone, making him immune to guilt trips, emotional games, or fear of abandonment. You can't control someone who doesn't fear being left behind. And here's the brutal truth. While others crumble when they lose him, the Sigma often becomes his best version in solitude. He levels up in silence, growing stronger, more disciplined, and more successful, while those who underestimated him realize too late what they've lost. This ability to thrive alone is what makes the Sigma untouchable, because no matter what happens, no matter who leaves or betrays him, he'll never collapse. Instead, he'll rise, quietly, powerfully, and completely on his own terms. They burn bridges with precision. Most people burn bridges out of anger, impulse, or frustration, leaving chaos behind and often regretting it later. But Sigma males? They burn bridges with calculation. When they cut ties, it's not reckless. It's deliberate. They know exactly why they're doing it, and once the decision is made, there's no turning back. For Sigmas, burning a bridge isn't about revenge or spite. It's about survival and clarity. If someone proves disloyal, toxic, or manipulative, they won't waste time arguing, explaining, or trying to fix what's already broken. They'll observe quietly, withdraw their energy, and then sever the connection in one clean move. No drama, no lingering mess, just silence and finality. This precision terrifies fake people because it removes all power from their hands. They expect confrontation, emotional outbursts, or desperate pleas for reconciliation. Instead, they get nothing. One day the Sigma is present, engaged, and supportive. The next, he's gone, with no warning and no explanations. The absence itself is the punishment, and it lingers far longer than any argument ever could. What makes this so powerful is the finality. Once a bridge is burned, the Sigma never looks back. He doesn't second guess, doesn't reopen old wounds, and doesn't allow toxic people to return. It's survival by elimination. And while others may crumble under guilt or nostalgia, the Sigma grows stronger with every bridge he burns, because it means his circle just got sharper, smaller, and more loyal. This is why people fear betraying a Sigma male. They know that if they cross the line, they won't just lose him temporarily, they'll lose him forever. And by the time they realize the gravity of that, the Sigma is already gone, thriving in silence. At the end of the day, these 10 brutal habits are exactly why Sigma males can't be fooled, manipulated, or controlled by fake people. While most fall into traps of approval-seeking, drama, and games, Sigmas remain untouchable because their silence, their independence, and their ruthless clarity expose the truth without them even trying. This is the power that shocks people, not the words they say, but the moves they don't make. And that's why fake people can't survive around them. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these habits do you think is the hardest for fake people to handle? Drop your answer in the comments. I'll be reading through them. And if you saw yourself in these Sigma traits, hit that subscribe button and join the ultra-wise community. Don't forget to like this video if it resonated with you, and share it with someone who needs to understand the Sigma mindset. Because here's the truth, being a Sigma male isn't about fitting in. It's about mastering the silence, the strength, and the independence that others secretly fear but deeply respect.